Today we are doing all of the swatch comparisons for the new Natasha Denona My Dream palette. So if you haven't seen one of these videos from me before, this is where I compare this new palette from Natasha Denona to all of the other Natasha Denona palettes that I own in my collection, and potentially any other palettes that might have strong dupes or similar shades in them with this new palette. So we go ahead and we do this on the desk format, and it's just a big old swatch party. Now hopefully this sounds interesting to you, and if it does, let's go ahead and do the YouTubey things. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get into it. We have the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. I will link my original review of this palette and the collection down below for you guys. And I will, probably the video after this one will be a 5 looks 1 palette using this one as well for some look inspo. This is the inside of the palette. Mine is really grubby already because I have actually already filmed this swatch comparison video. I just wasn't happy with it, so I'm refilming it again. And also I've done about 4 looks so far with this, so it's grubby, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and insert swatches of this palette for you guys right here so that you can familiarize yourself with what this palette looks like all together. If you're new to these, what happens is I go through this palette and find the, let's say, dupes or similar shades in the existing Natasha Denona collection. I do try and limit this to the other palettes in a brand's collection, just because otherwise this video would be like 7 years long, and I just don't have that kind of time, I'm sorry. But I do have one shade from Pat McGrath Labs that I want to compare with one of the shades in here, so that will be in here as well. And then I do always post pictures of all of the Natasha Denona palettes swatched against each other in comparison to this one. I have also done like up close swatches of like the palettes. So for example, the My Dream one versus Rephr, Glam versus My Dream, Love versus My Dream. So they will be scattered throughout the video as well. Let's go ahead and get started now. The only palette that I have with a black in it is the Biba palette, and this is a cream to powder formula. There are obviously similar shades. I'm actually not going to swatch them, but Biba does have a black shade if you're wondering. And they're just different formulas. Same black, just different formulas, cream to powder and the matte. I prefer the cream to powder formula personally. I just find it easier to work with for a black shadow, but that's gonna be a completely personal preference thing. Let's talk about this dark brown right here. So this one right here is called Aspiration, which is the dark brown shade. So I will swatch this way just because I wanna swatch a few. Let's go ahead and compare it with Seed. We will also compare it with Opart from Rephr, which is a cream to powder formula. I might compare it to Smoke in Glam. I don't believe there's anything in Love. I don't think there's really anything comparable in Bronze. Not in Triochrome. No. Not in Lila either. So these are all of the shade comparisons against Aspiration. So we have Aspiration in the My Dream palette. We have Seed from Biba. We have Opart from Rephr, and we have Smoke from Glam. Let's now look at Serenity here, which is a metallic. Very beautiful. Such a gorgeous kind of eggplant, like a smoky eggplant, but also a bit brown. It's kind of like a really unique shade. I don't think there's really anything in Biba. Potentially Retro. Let's try Helio. Psychedelic. They're different. You can tell they're different. And just Jude. The purpose of this video, as a side note, is not just to find like exact duplicates, it's also to just show potentially similar shades and see if that's different enough for you to warrant the purchase. I don't know if there's really anything in Glam that's similar to this one. The only one maybe would be In a Corner, but even then it's completely different. Yeah, way different. No, definitely not Bronze, definitely not Triochrome, definitely not Love. Let's see. It's really different, but potentially this one from Lila. It's probably think Retro is probably the similar one. So this one is Serenity from My Dream, and then this one is Helio, which is probably the closest, to be fair. Then we've got Psychedelic and Jude from Retro, so all three are from Retro. We've got Inner Corner from Glam, and then I don't actually know the shade of this from Lila, but this one's from Lila. Carpe Diem actually has quite a few dupes for me, or similarities from other palettes in the collection. So this is a matte shade, Carpe Diem. I think Biba for sure has some similarities with Buff and Tone. Tone is a cream to powder formula though. So this one is Buff. And then Tone, which I think Tone is more like Unity, which we'll show when we get to Unity. I just want to see Go-Go next to Carpe Diem. Go-Go is also a cream to powder, bit more pinky. Oh, Go-Go is such a beautiful one and done shade. Can we talk about that though? I don't think there's anything in Glam. That's going to be too brown, definitely. There is a couple potentially in Triochrome, which is Gourmand and Diatonic. So this one is Gourmand and this one is Diatonic. I don't think there's anything in Lila or Love. They're too pink. So this one is the Carpe Diem in My Dream. Then we've got Buff from Biba, Tone from Biba, Go-Go from Retro, Gourmand from Triochrome, and Diatonic from Triochrome. So quite similar. And actually Gourmand is really similar to Buff in Biba. And I think that both of these are quite similar to this Carpe Diem shade. Let's do Babies. The shade name Babies, I don't know. It weirds me out for some reason. I'm not sure why. So this is a beautiful kind of pinky metallic. It is a very, I mean, all of these shades are stunning, right? Okay, I don't think that there's a shade in Biba for this one. I will have full palette swatch photos at the end of like the talk through here though. So if you want to see like My Dream versus Biba, My Dream versus Retro, wait until the end so that you can see those pictures, okay? Because that might satisfy your curiosity as well. All right, let's have a look at Retro. I think we got to do Psychedelic, but I think it'll be too purpley leaning. Let's try just Patty for giggles. Too orangey leaning. And then I will do Helio as well. But I think that's a bit more purple. But again, it might not be different enough for you guys. You know, if you've got Retro, you might have all of My Dream. Let's do Inner Corner from Glam, but I think this is going to be too champagne-y. Nothing in bronze, nothing in Triochrome. Maybe this shade again from Lila. Nothing in the Glam face palette, and I don't really think anything in Love either. This is the shade Babies, swatched out with all of the other Natasha shades that I have. So we have Psychedelic, we have Patty, we have Helio, and those three are from the Retro palette. Then we have Inner Corner from Glam, and then we have that pink corner shade from Lila. There's definitely not anything like this one in here. They might look similar-ish. I'll do Shine, it's probably, and I'll do Monroe just because we're here, I guess. But I don't know. It's got that duochrome. It's a little bit more glittery. The Biba ones are straight up more metallic, but you know, again, maybe that's not different enough for you. There's definitely nothing in Retro. Maybe center, eyelid, and maybe brow bone from Glam. These are going to be more metallic though. Maybe Silk from Bronze, but it's going to be more bronze than Thrill. And definitely more pigmented. Definitely nothing in Triochrome, nothing in Lila. Maybe this shade right here, Inner Corner from the Glam face. That's probably the closest in terms of formula for sure. And then I don't really think anything from here, but let's try Transparent. I mean, that has a lot more pink to it. These are all of the Thrill comparisons. So we have Thrill, and then we have Shine and Monroe from Biba. And then we have Center Eyelid and Brow Bone from Glam. We have Silk from Bronze. We have the Inner Corner shade from the Light Glam Face Palette. And then we have Transparent from the Love Palette. Now we're on to Unity, which is the lighter kind of peachy transition shade. I think we know that we're just going to swatch all of those ones that we swatched for Carpe Diem pretty much. So let's go ahead and do buff and tone. And just compare. I did read one of your comments on my original review of this collection where you said that she actually did take her favorite shades from her palettes and kind of change the formulas or change them ever so slightly. So kind of makes sense that there are quite a few similarities, right? We'll take Go Go from Retro. We'll take these two from Triochrome. I pretty much think that they're all the comparisons. They're the same comparisons as Carpe Diem. Same but different. So we have Buff from Biba, we have Tone from Biba, Go Go from Retro, Gourmand from Triochrome, and Diatonic from Triochrome. Now we're up to Risk, which is this beautiful burgundy red metallic. My arm's getting red now, by the way, don't mind that. From wiping all the shadows off. Nothing in the Biba palette that compares to that red. Nothing in Retro. We will compare these two against these two because they're not a metallic, it's not comparable, and that's a purple. Nothing in Glam. We will compare it to this High Degree shade in Bronze though, which is gorgeous as well. There's definitely nothing in Triochrome. There's nothing in... Oh, actually, let's try this Turkish... I'm pretty sure this is called... No, it might not be called Turkish Delight. I don't know what this is called, but let's just try it. From Lila, which was this shade. Nothing in the Glam face. And then let's try Passion, I guess, from Love. Ooh, that's gorge. Look at that. So we have Risk from the My Dream palette. We have High Degree from the Bronze palette. We have that, I'm going to call it Turkish Delight from the Lila palette. I don't know if that's its name. And then we have Passion from the Love palette. So there's not as many shades that are similar to this one in her collection. Okay, let's go into Invention. I actually really like this shade. I have such an appreciation for it. It seems like such a boring shade, but on the eyes, it really pops out like quite a bright orange. I quite like it. Bronze is obviously where this is gonna shine. So I don't even know what this name is because it's so dirty. There we go. True Copper. Let's try True Copper. It honestly is probably the only one that's maybe close-ish. Let's try Silk. Did we try Palladium against this one? We might have to go back. No, we did, didn't we? Okay, that's about it out of Bronze, really. I might just try it. It's not the same, but I might just try it against this one in the Face Glam or the Glam Face palette. No, and I don't think there's really anything in Love either. This one is such a unique shade. They call it a duochrome as well. It's such a glittery kind of peach shade. It's really, really pretty. It is similar to the Bronze shades. So this one is True Copper and this one is Silk from Bronze. And then this is the darker metallic in the Light Face, Glam Face palette from her. The formula is the similarest, if that's a word, to this one. So those two are like formula-wise twins almost, but not shade-wise. It's almost like these two kind of had a baby with this formula and created this shade, which is maybe what she did. Last rowish. So now we have this multi-chrome, which is Vision. And I'll try and get some of the shift here. The other palettes don't have multi-chromes in them, sorry, but Triochrome does. So let's have a look at this color flip down the bottom. This is going to be the closest one from Natasha's collection that she has kind of, I guess, duped it from. This one is way too purple. So let's swatch this one. So this one is the color flip from Triochrome. So I think you can tell they are quite similar. So see how, okay, this is going to be hard for me to explain, but this is like a goldy green like color right here, whereas this one is like a taupey gray kind of color. And then the purples themselves, this one is a different purple. This is more of a very cool tone, kind of almost like flat purple, whereas this is more of a brighter dynamic purple. So they are different, but they are quite similar. So need to keep that in mind if that's the shade that you're wanting to pick up and you already have Triochrome. The other shade that I like to compare this to, and this one is almost an exact dupe, if you have the Divine Rose 2 Mothership palette from Pat McGrath Labs, and you're picking up this Dream palette specifically for this multi-room shade, I just don't think you should, because this multi-chrome from Pat is pretty much exactly the same. It's just that the purple's slightly different. See how the purples are slightly different? But I don't know if you can tell. I'm really horrible at showing this on camera, but the flips, I'm trying to get this. The flip of these shades are pretty much the same. This one's just slightly more vibrant than this one, but they're pretty much the same shade. Let's go into Spontaneous, which is this it's kind of just a generic champagne-y gold shade, really. Nothing really special. It's beautiful, but it's just nothing special. Let's swatch Monroe in Biba. Let's do Center Eyelid from Glam. There's nothing in Retro, by the way. There's nothing in Bronze. There's nothing in Triochrome. There isn't anything really comparable in Lila. I will swatch this one for you guys. It's just a bit too deep. The formula in the Glam face palette, the light one, it's not even comparable. It's such a different formula, but the shade is probably, no, this one's still icier. And then there is the transparent shade and the Lifetime shade in the Love palettes. This is gonna be too warm, but maybe, nah, that's got pink in it and I can't remember that. I didn't remember that. This one is the Spontaneous shade from My Dream. This one is Monroe from Biba. This one is Center Eyelid from Glam. This one is the gold shade from Lila. This is the lightest sparkly shade from the Light Glam face palette. This one is Transparent from Love, and this one is Lifetime from Love. Well, let's go ahead and do Nurture. Nurture is actually Thrill's my favorite shade, and then probably Nurture. It's so basic and boring, but it's so lovely. Just such a gorgeous neutral shade. We'll just compare it against Freckle, because why not? From Biba. Then we will do Nude Mauve from Retro. We will do Crease from Glam. Maybe actually Smoke from Glam as well. Nothing from Bronze, nothing from Triochrome. We will do this shade from Lila. Nothing from the Glam face palette and nothing from Love. So they are our comparisons for Nurture. So we have Nurture from the My Dream. We have Freckle from Biba. We have Nude Mauve from Retro. We have Crease and Smoke from Glam. So Crease and Smoke. And then we have that light ish taupey shade from Lila. Let's now look at Familia, or Familia, I should say, not Familia. I like this shade too. It's like, I don't know, how do you describe it? Like caramel almost. Let's go into Cocoa from Biba. Maybe also Pasha. Retro and Glam are way too cool toned, so definitely not them. But let's try Suntan and also Magma from Bronze. So we have Suntan. Nothing from Triochrome, nothing from Lila. Definitely not the Glam Light or the Light Glam face palette. God, I don't know why that's so hard for me to say. And nothing from Love. So we have the Familia shade from My Dream. And then we have Cocoa from Biba and what is it called? Pasha from Biba. Then we have Suntan from Bronze and Magma from Bronze. So let's go ahead and do Instinct first. This is just a matte. I wish there was more cream to powders in this palette, I'm not gonna lie. It is my favorite formula from her. I know so many people really don't like it, but I love it. Definitely nothing in Biba. This is where Retro is gonna come out to play. So we need to swatch Groove. And Rebellion. Now Rebellion is a cream to powder. And then let's also do Amara, sorry, not Amara. There's nothing in Glam, there's nothing in Bronze, there's nothing in Triochrome. Lila, nope, there's nothing in Lila, there's nothing on the Glam face palette, and I don't even think there's anything in this one. No. So they're probably the closest comparisons for the Instinct shade. So this is Instinct from My Dream, this is Groove, this is Rebellion, and then this is Amara from Retro, all three. So lastly we have Edgy, which is a cream to powder formula, very pretty. I guess we're just gonna go ahead and do, let's actually swatch, what's this called, Swing, because it's a metallic, but no, it's very different. Let's also swatch Groove and Rebellion. I guess we can go ahead and give Trust a try, but it is very different. We have Edgy from the My Dream palette. We have Swing from Retro, we have Groove from Retro, Rebellion from Retro, and Trust from Love. That is all of the comparison swatches. Now what we're going to do is we're going to flip into all of the photos of the full arm swatches. Yes, my arm is rubbed red raw, if you're wondering. So there's photo comparisons of all the full arm swatches, and then we will wrap this up. That is all of the swatch comparisons for the new Natasha Denona My Dream palette. This video is just supposed to be a buying guide for you guys. It's just to show if you have a lot of the same palettes that I have in my collection in your collection. It's for you to see if this is going to bring something different, or even if it isn't going to necessarily bring something massively different, are they unique enough or pretty enough for you to want to purchase this and bring it into your collection. Or maybe you're trying to decide between the palettes. Hopefully that will help. And if it wasn't helpful in any way, hopefully you just had a good old time, you know, having a swatch party with me. Let me know your thoughts down below. Are you planning on picking this palette up, or if you have it, do you love it? I love hearing from you guys. And that is the end of the video. If you have watched until this point, you're an absolute legend. I appreciate you so, so much, truly. If you haven't already, pretty please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. It helps my channel out, truly. We're trying to get to 10K by the end of the year. I'm not gonna lie. So pretty please hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Now, I hope that you have an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye.